My apologies. I think there was something wrong with our office network today. Yeah, I've been kind of struggling to connect. But yeah, I think it looks like our Wi-Fi is fine now. All right, let's get back to answering the questions. Okay. Okay. First question. Hi, where do you propose fixed asset and other equipment to be added from among your various templates? If we were, if we need to show their purchase or administration. A company makes skincare products. It requires a machine called A to make the products. It also requires beakers. These items comes under fixed asset and other equipment. To purchase them, which template is the best? I'm using your accounting integrated purchase sales inventory production. Later we'll also be using HR. I need to have proper purchase requisition purchase order for these, and also need to show these items in my accounting reports. Okay, so which template is best for purchasing record of these? Also, if some item gets damaged, how is it accounted for? For instance, if a beaker breaks down, how do I remove it from the inventory? All right. Um, Generally, I'm not super, again, I'm not super familiar with all the templates, but I do have a general idea of what they are and how they work. So I'll try to answer your question. But but still, always remember that Ragic is a no-code product, so that you could purchasing, and you need to have them integrated to accounting. Okay, so let's go install some templates. We can go to, let's get asset management, and oops, does asset management has, oh, okay, let's have accounting too. Yeah, it seems like you need an integrated version. Accounting. Okay, so let's take a look at asset management first. So what you're looking at is a machine A. A machine is usually what we call an asset. Like it's a fixed asset. It's not something that you put in like expense. So a machine would be something like this. You require beakers, and yeah, I suppose these are also fixed assets and equipments. So this should be the place where you can record those assets. But if you want to purchase them and put them under asset management, I think that will be two different templates. First, if you want to purchase them, purchase management. Yeah, I think they should be in the purchase management. So if you go to the newly added purchase management, you could have the yeah, you should be able to have the purchase requisition and purchase order sheet to do this kind of thing, so that people can create a purchase requisition, so that maybe the any of your staff can and create a purchase requisition to buy new beakers or the new machine A that you were referring to, right here to ask the procurement department of your company to purchase a new machine, and they can click like create PO to create a new purchase order to actually make the purchase. Okay, and this, after the PO is processed, you will be able to get a PO receipt, to record that you have actually received the product. And like for QA, you want to make sure that it's of the correct quality, and it's that you can put it in your, usually to the inventory. But in your case, this one will be under asset management. Okay, so after you confirm the receipt and you completed the IQC, the internal quality control. So, and the main path workflow for this is for you to buy items in your inventory, and so that you can use as a material in the bill of material, so that you can use it in the work order to create other items. But if you want to put it under asset management, right now you have to either manually create a fixed asset in the fixed asset sheet, or alternatively, you can go to the design mode and create a convert record button to convert a PO receipt to asset management. That could save you a little bit of time, but I don't think it's really necessary. But you could create a convert record button so that you could convert a PO receipt to asset management. So something like this. Well, it's the only mapped field with the exact same name is the invoice date. So in the subtable, you could say like for the product name, you could put it under the same thing as the asset name. Don't find the name here. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really have an asset name. Let me take another look at the asset management sheet. Yeah, it has manufacturer, model, okay. Yeah, but if you need, you could also add other items. So other fields. So I don't think the PO received, the whole purchasing process is designed to with the asset management. So by default, if you want to do it, I think it would be the best to manually add a fixed asset first. But of course, all sheets are. All right, sorry for the interruptions. And yeah, I gotta check our office Wi-Fi today, so the network connection is just not really stable today from this meeting room. And okay, so lastly about the removing an item, you should be able to kind of just like when an old one is expired, you could just create set a replacement date for the asset to let other people know that this is being replaced. And if you need other status fields, you could also like add a status field here to know that what kind of status this asset is in, and like if it's already replaced. So yeah, generally you can use a replacement date to specify that this item is it has been replaced. So it's basically using a date to know if a replacement date is there, then it's has been replaced. And to make the to make sure you understand that your asset asset management and inventory, there are two different things. So generally, assets, they're asset management referring to like the machines that you're talking about, a machine or a laptop computer or anything that it's relatively last longer and is not involved in the manufacturing process. So anything that you buy and sell, and anything that the material that you use to create your product, those goes into the inventory, but not the fixed assets. Okay, so fixed assets are for items that are more fixed. It's not, you don't buy it and sell it, and you don't use it as a raw material in your manufacturing process. Okay, please see webinar recording. Yep. Okay, next question. Government entity. Is there any government entity that is using Ragic? If yes, I would like to know examples on what they use it for, and do they take extra safety measurements from their side? Okay, well, there are actually quite a few government entities using Ragic, and it has become one of the more popular use of Ragic in recent years. So one of the biggest one, because Ragic is headquartered in Taiwan, and Ragic is very, very heavily used in Taiwanese government agencies, across Taiwan in many government agencies. So they do use it for use it in a lot of places. And one of the biggest use that I know is that, and for a lot of government agencies, they do a lot of inspections, like fire inspections or health inspections. So, no, from the top of my mind, that one of the biggest use for these for Ragic applications is that they create customized inspection sheets for their field agents to go out and do inspections, and they can work as a checklist and what passed the inspection and what doesn't pass, and they can use the Ragic mobile app to have the users sign for the inspection, so that that when you usually in the old days you have a paperwork to do that, or you have a paper document, electronic document, or a customized systems to do that. But with Ragic, it's rather simple that for the agencies doing those inspections, they can fully design a Ragic sheet for checking the inspection details, and have their field agents to go out there and do the inspections. For government entities, inspections is a big part of their work, and having mobile apps that they can do inspections really helps them do these kind of things. So this is one of the bigger use that I know they're being used in government agencies. And let's see, I think it's also used in their purchasing process, so that they use Ragic to create sheets to evaluate vendor products. This is something also I know that they're using. So I saw one of their application is to use a Ragic sheet they have a committee to evaluate different vendors, and score them differently to choose a vendor. So they created a Ragic sheet for different committees to evaluate vendor solutions. So no, this is also one of the one kind of activity that's um, a little bit hard to find a package software, and also a little bit hard to have a vendor come in and create a full application for doing these kind of committees evaluations on vendors. So yeah, there. So for Ragic, I know one of our biggest user is the Taipei city government, and they have literally thousands of electronic forms on Ragic. So the last time I checked, they have around 5,000 sheets. So like this is a sheet, this is a sheet. So they have like 5,000 of them, and on their Ragic server. So they have thousands of employees using these sheets to do their to do their daily work. Because there are some applications created for government agencies, but just they are not nearly enough because the things they manage, they are just too diverse, too many kinds of things that could possibly go in a government agency that needs digitalization. So a no-code tool like Ragic, which is power enough to do these kind of application, is a really good choice for government agencies, and we do see a very large increase in demands from government entities to use Ragic. So yeah, these are just a few applications that I have in mind, but basically what I see is they do everything on Ragic, for like local governments, city governments, to federal governments, like in the ministries. They also use the Ragic as an integral part of their process. In Taiwan, there's like a digitalization agency. I forgot its English name. Oh, Ministry of Digital Affairs. Yeah, and Ragic's also used very heavily in the Taiwanese Ministry of Digital Affairs. So, they are the professional in digitalization, and they use Ragic to manage almost everything from onboarding new employees to like budgeting, and they just basically do everything on Ragic. So budgeting and onboarding new employees are the two things that I know of. They have a private server, so that I've never went in there to see how they're designing the applications, but I do get questions from them, or they discuss potential uses for Ragic in like the Ministry of Digital Affairs. So I know a little bit about how they're using them. And do they take any extra safety measures from their side? Actually, yeah, actually they are really, really, really careful about their data. So they have some compliance issues that legally they cannot use a cloud solution for some of their uses. So in most cases, they have a private server, so that they install Ragic on their own private server, and they have to do all sorts of security scans on those private servers regularly. And yeah, even though Ragic is ISO certified, we have an ISO 27001 certification, but still, for compliance reasons, they cannot put their application on any kind of public cloud, so they have to put it on their own internal servers, or sometimes even in the intranet. So yeah, they do take extra safety precautions, and mostly it's using a private server, so that they have all the data security measures under their own control. Yeah, the biggest difference in data security measures is that they have it in their on their own server. So that I think that's the biggest difference. But technically speaking, having the safety, having the server on their own server doesn't guarantee to make it safer, but it does give them more visibility and more control into the system. They can lock it into their intranet if they need to. They can do all kinds of different backups that they need if they have a different backup system than Ragic. So they just basically have more visibility and control over the Ragic service that they're using. Okay, this is another one of the longer answers. So please see webinar recording for details. For government agencies, one of the most common safety measure is to use an premises Ragic private server for compliance purposes. Yeah, also for better visibility of the security measures. All right, next question. Ragic certification. Wow, and we also got another question from the Chinese webinar and on Ragic certification on the just last week. Yeah, I think. Is there any certification for Ragic to verify their capability in building Ragic databases? If there is, do we need to pay? Currently, we don't have a certification like course or certification exam yet, and but we do plan to have this kind of certification process in the future, and it's still under planning. And we were in talk with other third parties to do this kind of certification, so that we have a third party to evaluate if a person or a company has the capability to build certain level of complexity of Ragic applications. But it's kind of difficult to work with a third party on these kind of certifications. So right now we're more thinking about doing this kind of certification ourselves. So we are doing some planning, and we want to see if we can have a certification program to certify that certain professionals, they are able to use Ragic to build all kinds of digitalizing applications using Ragic. And the main thing about this certification program is that we want to make sure that it's practical, because a lot of like programming certifications, they are a little bit not practical enough, because to make the certification program, the exams more easily implemented, they're usually a lot of times they are with multiple choice questions. But if you can answer multiple choice questions about programming or application building, it doesn't mean that you can actually build the application, because these are two very different skills. So what Ragic is planning on doing is have a bit more hands-on work for the company or the individual to actually do, to make sure that we can check and make sure that they do have the right capabilities to build a Ragic application for the company that they work for, and that matches the actual requirements of their business process. So we want to make sure that the person really has a hands-on experience for this. And if there is such a program, do you need to pay? We're not completely sure yet. It might be a paid program, it might be a free program, but yeah, but we don't expect it to be like very, very expensive. But yeah, we are in the process of planning this type of certification program. Yes, in creating this type of application. To let us know suggestions on how this should. All right. Okay, so that's it for the questions from our question sheet. And we have from our chat room, I think they come from the CRM that shall not be named. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but probably, yeah, I'm not, sorry, I'm not sure what you're referring to. All right. And thank you for joining in on the Ragic office hour today. And sorry about the interruptions from our office Wi-Fi. And if you have any other questions, feel free to use the office hour question sheet right here to submit your questions. And I will talk to you in 2 weeks. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.